I recently posted a video about how you should write down every time you spend money, how that money is given up, how that business is earning money, what the margins probably look like. If you can make a competition for it, what you would do, and try to push yourself to explore other industries. A very wise entrepreneur told me to do that. So I got my fancy pen and notebook here. If you're seeing the video version on YouTube, I love this pen, by the way. It's really nice. It's like a small ballpoint. In any case, I made the video about how I was having breakfast, and I had this $14 bottle of syrup, glass bottle, super nice, 100% pure maple syrup, etc. And I'm like, there's got to be good margins on that, because it's just, you just tap the trees and then boil it, right? I knew that before I began doing all this research. You tap the trees, you filter, you boil it, but how much does it really cost? Well, if you're watching this and you're thinking of starting a maple syrup business, this is probably going to be a really good resource. And even if you're not thinking about it, I don't want to like accidentally convince you to, but I'm going to walk you through how I ran the numbers, how I saw how profitable it is, how I saw if it was something I would even consider doing. And now I'm thinking about it because I tweaked the numbers to the point where, you can do this to make it cheaper. You can do this to make it more expensive. That's the point of this exercise. That's the kind of thing you want to do when you look at businesses. Or you can come up with other supporting businesses, right? B2B. For example, I'm just gonna spoil this for you. While I was doing this business, I thought, how cool would it be if you could just sell a kit for people to harvest maple syrup on their own land? All it would really be is some taps, they all go through these tubes together. It'd be a little book that tells you when to harvest, how to boil it, etc. There'd be a little, not little, it'd be a really big way to boil it that comes in like a big tank, with like a propane powered heater underneath, a water boiler, something like that. I don't know. And it can all come in one big crate and say, here you go, harvest the trees on your own land, get a taste of it. How cool would that be? You just have a bunch of, and it doesn't have to be maple trees. It can be like birch trees and stuff, which I like. I like that idea a lot, but I'm going to get to that. And you could just sell a kit to these people, right? It shows up on a pallet. Here you go. That can be a business in and of itself. Think how many farmers, how many landowners, ranch owners, etc. would be like, you know what? Here's it. I would love to just, almost as a hobby, maybe a pricier hobby, just harvest this maple syrup, right? You can even go high end and have like a coach come and show them like, this is how you do it. This is how you harvest it. I'll walk you through the process, whatever, I think it'd be pretty cool. That's a totally different business that sprung out of this. In any case, I just want to tell you how I ran these numbers real quick. So I looked up the whole process, how much it costs. This is 12 ounces, all right, of maple syrup. It's not huge. It's in a bigger glass bottle, so it seems like more nice marketing. That's what I would do. I'd do a bigger fancy glass bottle. Almost looks like whiskey or something. Because the color, the closer it is to whiskey, the better grade it is. Apparently, the lighter color, the better grade, which I had no idea. That's really cool. In any case, these 12 ounces, it takes about 8 gallons of sap to make this. And you might say, what? Okay, forget it. I'm not doing that. 8 gallons of sap, if you tapped 8 trees, you're going to get that much in a day. So this entire bottle is from one day of just passively collecting sap, right? Of course, you do have to boil it. So I say passive, but so based on that math, this is how I would start this. I would go to someone who's a landowner who has the kind of trees I want, and I would do birch trees. They don't have as much sugar. I did all the math on this, all right? How much sugar they have, how much yield they're going to have. It's going to be harder, but that's really common in my area. And then I would pitch the entire brand as like this artisan, local. We're in Utah. There's a lot of birch trees here. So I would say Utah birch syrup, right? And it would be in these nice, maybe even like Utah shaped glass packages. And it would be the kind of thing that people gift to each other. And it would be 30, 40, 50 bucks, as much as I could get for it, for like this really fancy artisan kind of syrup, all right? I'd go to these landowners and say, I'll give you a cut of the profit. I'll even give you a syrup bottle from your own land. How cool is that? Right? Just to pitch them on it. And then just get access to tap their land. And it's only during late winter months, February to April is what I was told. It has to be freezing at night, warmer in the day so it can melt. There's a whole process. I'm not going to get into it. In any case, I would tap 100 trees at about $3.50 per tree, because it's super cheap. You're drilling a hole 2 inches deep. People do this with PVC pipes, and then you've probably seen the clear tube piping almost the surgical tubing is what they call it. Really thin, clear tubes that can run in between the trees. And you can just get, maybe 100 trees, probably 20 or 30 trees at a time, and just have them drip into these. I would probably have just like a 5-gallon bin. They're not very expensive. And then per tree, yeah, it's about $3.50 per tree. And that's just for the entire season. I estimated it would cost $7 per bottle. I want like a nice glass bottle. I'll see what I can find. Maybe I could do like a mason jar, but that's it's not classy enough, So probably some custom bottles, about $7, maybe some fancy packaging. These labels are just stickers, right? I think these ones on here, yeah, these are just stickers. They're probably hand applied. It has like bubbling in it, right? And I bought this from the store. So just hand stickers, super cheap, but the bottles are probably $7. And then I included how long the labor would take. It'd probably take, let's see, labor hours to make, the whole batch, yeah. Probably 10 hours to make 10 of these, right? But if I'm charging $50 for each, that's a pretty good markup. So I actually put the charge at $40. The cost to make 10 of these is going to be $70. The wholesale for them is probably going to be close to $400, which means the profit is $330 per day, right? That's per day for 100 trees. And 100 trees, it's not a lot because you just drill, tap, run the surgical hose, and then it's good for the entire season. Do that 100 times. It's probably a 3 or 4 hour process. I don't know. Just based on what I've seen, you're making $330 per day, right? Now you do have to boil it and filter it. Not a huge issue. You can do that at your home. Just take it to your house. Do it as you do your normal business or whatever you're doing. That's how I would do it. The profit, if I had 40 productive days in the season, which would be tiny, right? It would be me giving up early. There's going to be a lot more than that. I would make $12,000 profit. That's just my numbers. So, that was me tweaking, like, what if we had more trees? What if it was less to tap the trees? And then it's looking up the materials, looking up how other people do it. It was a really fun process. Now, I'm probably not even going to do this unless it's just for fun to make my own syrup, right? And if I did, I would find someone I know, friend or family, who already has land and say, can I just try to tap your tree? We'll try and make some syrup from it. It'll be fun, just as a hobby, realistically. But now I know all these sort of basic numbers, and I could go and probably start a business like this. It was really fun. I highly recommend doing it. But I would also give you a word of caution. If you're going to do this, like I said, I'm tempted to do it. I can see a lot of potential for profit, but I'm in the middle of starting a totally different business. The numbers are a little bit more ambiguous than this, but I've learned a few different things, like, how much people charge for syrup, how much you could make, how many, all sorts of good stuff. I highly recommend it. So the action step for you is to get some sort of notebook. And literally this was like 70 cents I got this from China, I got a pack of them, and I use these up, and I cut the corners of them. If you're on the video, you can see, but I cut the corners of them as a bookmark. So I'm just opening to where I am, so I can just keep filling in the notes. Really easy, really simple, fits in my pocket. I barely notice it's there, but every time something important like that comes, or like a bill comes due or something, I say, how did they get my money? Would there be a way to start that? Could I compete with them? Things like that. Now, business ideas are a dime a dozen. So yes, I can probably fill up this entire book, but it's not going to make me a millionaire. It's going to be the little things, like how are they selling this? How did they position themselves to get the money from me? A lot of it's going to be marketing. A lot of it's going to be how employees interacted with me, how their company policy is, how quality their stuff is, all sorts of stuff like that. When you fill up a whole notebook, and you can also get these at Walmart, I was going to say 50 cents, I think, or something like that, just a little notebook thing. But once you fill up one of those, you're going to be that much smarter. Get one of those notebooks, start filling in all those things I just said. That's your action step. And if someone starts a maple syrup business, please reach out to me. I want to have this whole success story of like, they listened to me and they started this maple business, this maple syrup business, that would be so cool to me. That's on I have like a Discord you can reach out to me on. I got email. It's all on my website. businesscreativepodcast.com. It's in the description. There's a link for it. I just want to connect and see who's listening to this and who's getting value from it. It would be so cool to see who's on the other side of the podcast. But or it is, it's really great to hear from you guys. So thanks for listening. Do that action step. Get the little notebook. Start writing down these businesses every time someone takes money from you. All right. And thanks for listening, and have a good one.